It's Monday, December 12th, 2022, and this is episode 272 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Mike, how you feeling? How's everything going in Minnesota?
Everything's going good. We got a lot of snow the other day.
Yeah.
And I had to shovel the driveway. Not too happy about that.
Are you in a new house now?
Well, we're in the process of moving in.
Okay.
So we're not living there yet, but we're moving stuff in from a storage unit. And we maybe got half of it moved in.
Okay. Well, at least you're doing it during snowstorms.
Yeah, during snowstorms. Had to shovel the driveway just so we could get up to the house to load stuff in.
Yeah.
Oh, this snow.
Oh, come on. I'll tell you, everybody, when Mike said he was going to leave, everybody would say to him, oh my gosh, the weather and the snow and everything. And Mike's response was always, well, you just stay inside. It's no big deal. You just stay inside. It's the heat. Meanwhile, now you're shoveling snow. You're driving through snowstorms to pick up your daughter from the airport. You can't just stay inside the whole time.
Well, you can't stay inside the whole time, but you do get to stay inside a fair amount.
Okay.
No, it's not really that bad. They get the roads cleared pretty quick. It's just personal things. They don't clear my driveway.
Right, sure. So. Yeah, they don't clear your driveway, yeah. Hey, I meant to ask you, a few episodes back, you were talking about, I think it was a restaurant in Caledonia that got shut down for illegal gambling. Did you ever find out what was going there?
No, and I never heard anything else about that. So that was the rumor going around town. But it's still open, and I haven't heard anything about it. So it might have been falsely started, or I don't know. I never was able to find much information about that.
Yeah, if it's still open and it didn't make the news or anything, that just sounds like a false rumor.
Yeah, it sounded to me like a false rumor after I checked into it, but I wondered about that too. And the place is for sale.
Okay.
So, I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I think it's pretty much was just a rumor started by somebody.
Okay. Now, how much gambling have you been doing since our last episode?
Yeah, that's a sore subject, Mark, because the week after we had our meetup, I didn't go because I was there for 3.5 days.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, well, I'll stay home this week. And then the weekend after that was Thanksgiving. And I was kind of thinking about going on like Saturday, but then we got busy with the house and stuff. And then this weekend it snowed.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to drive there. And last weekend we were moving stuff Saturday and Sunday, so I couldn't make it.
All right, so you haven't played since the meetup.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to go next weekend if possible.
Okay.
I was thinking about even going today, but turns out we're going to be moving some more stuff. The girls' friends have volunteered to help us. So while we have help, we're going to do that.
Well, I haven't gambled either, since the trip, and it's mostly been just family commitments, that kind of thing. So,
right.
Yikes.
Life's getting in the way, Mark. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is our last episode then. Thanks for listening. Good night.
I'm going to have to rectify this.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of gambling, so we got a lot of content.
Yeah. Well, I'm off work starting on the 22nd.
Oh, yeah. So am I.
And I don't go back until December 3rd, I believe, or 4th, something like that.
You mean January?
I mean January, yeah.
Yeah, of course. We usually take our mom to a casino, between Christmas and New Year's, so I'll probably have a report for that.
What does she do
anyway.
But all that time between Christmas and New Year's, a week there? She just sits in the casino?
No. It's just one day. We don't go for the whole period there. We just...
Well, you said we take our mom to a casino from Christmas to New Year.
No, I may have said it that way. Well, maybe I'll bring it up to her, see if she wants to go for a whole week.
Just drop her off. They're open 24/7.
Drop her off. You're giving her a call every once in a while. You still okay? You need
Merry
anything?
Christmas, Mom.
Click.
Oh, my girls hate it when I do stuff like that to them.
Say Merry Christmas when something crappy's happening.
Well, have a Merry Christmas. Did I ever tell you that story when Ruby, our oldest, was little? she said something one time to Lynn, something like, Mom, I want to blah, blah, this. And okay. And she said, oh, and one more thing. Merry Christmas. It was like in July or something. We always, and one more thing. Merry Christmas.
It's almost like it's in your face. You're asking for something nice, and then and Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you.
That's right. 6 ace in your face.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Mike, do you have anything else gambling related to talk about? Because if not, I'm just going to jump into our phone calls.
Well, gambling related, not a lot, but I would like to rant a little bit about the Heisman Trophy.
Oh, please do.
I mean, every year they announce a Heisman Trophy winner, and it's typically like a wide receiver, a quarterback, a running back. Why isn't it ever an offensive lineman?
Yeah,
because I looked it up, and it's supposed to be for outstanding play and diligence and hard work ethic and, just all these great things that an athlete should do. And I'm thinking it's mostly offensive linemen who do that. They work so hard to protect the quarterback, open holes for the running back, give the quarterback enough time to hit the wide receiver. It should be offensive linemen. I know they have a separate award for them, for those who are going to say, well, they have a separate award. But if you're going to pick just the most outstanding football player in the country, I mean, there's some linemen who maybe, never missed an assignment, never missed a block.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
It's just offensive lineman. That's not the sexy position, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to is you don't see an offensive lineman making a block. Hey, that's great. Hey, you don't get excited. You get excited, when there's a big running play or, the quarterback throws, like a 60-yard pass, right? And it scores a touchdown. Right. It's just... I mean, that's the reason, I think you make a valid point that it should apply to everyone as equally. It's just that and if they did start doing that, there'd be less interest in the Heisman.
Well, that's what it is. It's all a PR thing.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. The Heisman means nothing to me.
Okay.
Nothing.
it means nothing to you.
It means nothing to me. Whoever wins that award, big deal. There's somebody out there who did a better job than you. I guarantee it.
All right. Well, why don't you come up with the Stephanitis Award every year now? I want you to tell me who won the Stephanitis.
The Stephanitis Award. Okay, starting next year.
And I want you to make a little trophy also. I don't know. The Heisman, it's pretty iconic, the Heisman Trophy. But see if you can come up with a little something. And then we'll send it. We'll send it. How
about if I just
player.
do this? We'll send it.
We'll scare the hell out of him.
What the hell is this? Some stalker. How about this? We just do you can bet on that award for the best gambler that we've seen in the year.
Really? We've never done awards. A lot of other podcasts, have done like end of the year awards or.
Well, because we don't believe in awards.
That's true. The only award we had to share with Adam Bauer, and that just leaves a bad taste in our mouths. So
Ever since then, I don't believe in awards. That's why I'm pissed off about the Heisman. I want to give recognition out there to all those offensive linemen, defensive linemen, some guy on special teams. There's a lot of good football players.
All right, you do that. So at the end of bowl season. You let everybody know who your pick is, and we'll announce it on the show. And maybe even send the player a tweet with a link to the episode.
Yeah, we mentioned you. Who are you?
You won.
Oh, if anyone should get an award, it should be Santa Claus.
God, he does so much work. It's crazy.
It's crazy the amount of work that guy does.
Yeah.
You want to talk about hard work ethic.
Yeah. How many awards has he gotten? None that I know of.
None. Yeah. You never hear him getting an award.
Best beard, maybe. It's like big deal, right? Doesn't work that hard on the beard.
Yeah, it just grows. He selflessly works year round.
Yeah, I agree.
For the betterment of all of us.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go. Yeah. So I think every year the Heisman, Santa Claus again. Santa
great.
Claus again.
Santa Claus won the Heisman. He's got a bunch in the shelf behind him. Not sure what I did to deserve this, but thank you.
Well, that's a good Santa Claus.
Oh, thanks.
All right, let's get on with the voicemails.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. But first, hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, first up is Allison.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. My name is Allison. I'm calling in with a trip report from Harrah's, Southern California. I'm a first-time caller. I have been listening to you guys for well over a year now with my boyfriend. His name's Chris. He's actually called in before as well. He's a really big fan. We normally stick to MGM properties, or we go to like Sequan in SoCal because we have the My Vegas rewards. But recently we started exploring other Southern California casinos, and we decided to go to Pechanga, and then we decided to do Thanksgiving at Harrah. So though I'm a kind of a low-level player, I did happen to have a Caesars card, and I was able to get a comp night for the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we ended up doing a 2-night stay at Harrah's on Wednesday and Thursday night, and it was, one night being a comp night, which was awesome. We actually really, really hoped we'd run into you, Mark. We were playing at the craps table. We were keeping an eye out, listening for your voice, but we never did see you on the trip. So we're hoping maybe we'll meet you on the next one. So we got there late on Wednesday. We went to the roll to win right away, which was $10 minimum, which was fine. But about 10 minutes into it, the stick man changed, and I looked at my boyfriend and I half jokingly said, "Should we pull a Mark and call off our bets?" We did not. And we immediately sevened out. So we laughed about that for a minute. We then went from roll to bubble craps, and we used the $3 minimum there to kind of practice, which was fantastic because I got to sit and play a bunch. Played the horn butt, which convinced, thanks to Dr. Mike, I have now started playing because I'm a crap shooter. So I have now decided I'm only going to play horn on my come out rolls. I would say it wasn't as exciting as the table, obviously, but it's still incredibly good practice. We spent the afternoon, though it was kind of chilly out, we spent the afternoon at the hot tubs, which was great. We grabbed margaritas from the cantina, which were fantastic. And then we ended up having Thanksgiving dinner at Hell's Kitchen. So overall, It was really fun. We never made it to the real craps table because I actually lost too much money on roll and bubble to go to the $15 main table. But we're definitely going back, and I need to get that fire bed in there. I also had a question. Is that one table at Harrah's, that first main table that you walk up to, is it extra long? It seemed super long to me, so I wasn't sure. The other question I wanted to ask you guys really quick was if there was going to be another poker tournament planned for sometime next spring. I missed the last one, and I'd love to try to get into this one. Thank you so much for everything. We really are big fans. We hope to meet you guys at the table sometime, and thanks again for the show. We really enjoy. So have a great one. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
All right. Thanks, Allison.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, we're going to be having another poker tournament here coming up. As usual, it will be the Sunday before March Madness starts. So that's Selection Sunday. That will be March 12th this coming year, 2023. Mike, are we going to go to Vegas for March Madness? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about any trips here in the future?
Oh, I think about trips every day, Mark,
Okay.
but I have no definitive plans. But yeah, that might work out.
All right.
With work, because school will still be on then.
Sure.
I might only be able to go, like, take a Friday off and go Friday, Saturday. Probably have to come back Sunday.
We have to go Wednesday night. So we're there for all 4 days of that first weekend there, Mike.
So you want to be there
all
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Thursday,
Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then come back Monday.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, I'll have to give them plenty of warning.
All right. You've been warned.
All right.
Okay. The tables at Harrah's, I don't know. I don't think they're different sizes. I think they seem all the same to me. Yeah.
I mean, could be. I mean, never actually measured them.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're certainly all the same size.
Right.
There's not like one that's longer than any of the other at Harrah's.
Noticeably longer, yeah.
Yeah, sorry I didn't see you there, Allison. I just haven't been going up. Like I said, mostly it's been family commitments. Mike, once you moved away, Sherry and I would go almost every weekend, every other weekend, something like that, but that's kind of fallen off. And then you haven't been out here for a while, so.
Yeah, maybe in February I'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's just right now I'm in flux because of this house thing.
Sure.
I mean, there's snow in the driveway, Mark.
Yeah. I don't talk to us about snow. We warned you before you were going that there was going to be snow.
It's so white, and at night it's bright outside. You look outside, the moon shines off the snow.
Well, Allison, I'm glad was able to play some of that bubble craps. We have said before, yeah, it's great practice, especially on those individual machines, because you can go at your own pace. You can, there's no pressure to get a bet in under a certain time limit. So, yeah, you can see what all the bets are and, learn the game a little bit better. So, yeah, that's good to hear.
She'll have to call back, though, and tell us how that Hell's Kitchen was.
Yeah, it was great that she was able to eat there on Thanksgiving. I keep hearing that it's hard to get reservations there. I imagine it's a little bit easier now, but I still haven't had a chance to get up there to check it out. We'll have to.
Yeah, and I haven't heard from anybody who's eaten there about how good it is. So.
We'll check it out next time you come out, Dr. Mike.
All right, sounds good.
All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, this is William from Fort Worth calling in. Figure I better give a trip report since I enjoy listening to everybody else's so much. So my wife and I were in Vegas a few weekends ago. We've historically almost always stayed at Caesars Properties. I've been 7-star for a couple of years, probably only one more year I will be, because we've really enjoyed the transition over to Cosmo. There's so many restaurants there. It's crazy compared to Caesars and late night dining options. Caesars just seems really limited in that regard. Because you can't use your food credit in the mall, to my knowledge. Only there are a couple of the restaurants that Caesars has, or a few. We saw Opium at Cosmo, which was great. It's a sister act to Absinthe, so I highly recommend that. We've seen most of the shows down there, the Cirque shows, but that was really good. Change of pace and seeing Opium. We went downtown one night, we usually do. Had some free play at the D, Circa, Golden Gate. So we end up at Golden Gate. My wife's playing slot machines. And so I mosey over to the craps table, and I want to try this awesome new thing I've heard of called 270 across that Crap Vegas pushes so much. So I wish I'd never heard of this terrible thing called 270 across. I go up to the craps table at the Golden Gate. There's one guy at the far end, so I wait for him to 7 out. He comes out, and then I put my money, I say 270 across. So they do it, he 7s out. So we went 0.7 out. The dice come to me, I pass them back to him. Same thing happens again, 0.7 out. So then I said, okay, I'll roll. So I put 15 on the line, rolled a 4, and then I put 30 behind, and then 270 across. I 7'd out. I'm like, okay, this is a brutal strategy. So I went to the other craps table. And the sad thing is the dealers are just looking at me with like sad puppy dog eyes, like, oh, I'm so sorry, this table's been cold. I mean, they felt sorry for me, which makes you feel even worse. So I went to the other craps table. Nobody was there. I did the same thing 4 times in a row. So I was 0 for 7 on this horrible 270 across strategy. I'm sure it would be great if you hit something, but that was tough. A couple thousand down quickly. So what's your guys' tolerance? If you step up to a table like that and are just getting killed, I've go to Bossier every now and then, and so my recent experience is we've gone around the table like 2 times and nobody's hit a point. There'll be maybe only 7 or 8 people at the table, but 0 points hit twice around the table, and it sucks. And that wasn't playing 270 across, thankfully. But how long will you guys stick something like that out when you go to a new table? The vibe was okay, except everybody's just getting killed, so I was kind of curious. What's y'all's strategy there? Do you walk away? You go to a different table? How long will you stick something like that out? Because I know you got to wait for the big roll. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.
Yeah, well, it depends on where we are. If we're lucky enough to be in a place like Vegas, we'll just stop and go to another casino. But if we're stuck somewhere like Diamond Joe Worth or Harrah's Southern California, what do you think? It seems like we just try to stick it out as long as we can, just because we love playing the game. And what else are we going to do? Yeah, we'll change tables if we can.
Yeah, if we can change, if there's 2 tables, the other one's full, there's not much you can do. So we stick it out usually. But here's the strategy, Mark, when your table's cold.
All right.
After you've had 3 bad rolls in a row, first throw a hissy fit.
That does help. Yeah, we've seen that does help. Yeah.
That does help. You got to have a little hissy fit. Mm-hmm. And then you got to complain about how miserably cold it is and stuff.
Yes.
As long as you complain a lot, it's going to turn around.
Yeah, it's true. That works at poker night. Every time, all you have to do is just, I haven't won a hand all night. And then maybe throw your cards down in such a way that they get mixed up with other people's cards. And, you have to say, oh, I'm sorry, or, slam your chips or something. Kind of be a bit of a jerk. That usually helps.
Then after that, if those things don't work, then my suggestion is to pout. You just pout a lot.
Okay, so you go sort of from anger to sadness?
anger to sadness. Yeah. And you just hang in there, wait for the big roll.
Okay. Well, William, I hope you find this advice helpful.
No, there's not much you can do, William. If you are, in a place like Vegas, well, let's say you're in a place like Circa and there's a bunch of tables. There's like 6 tables.
Yeah.
Just move to another table, and see how it goes there. But if it doesn't go good there, you can go to another casino.
Yeah, I think going to another casino, if it's especially bad, maybe take your time getting to another casino. If you're on the Strip, It's going to take you a while to get to the next casino anyway. But some of it is just to clear your head so that you don't end up doing something stupid like trying to win it all back on one roll or something like that, just to kind of have your brain reset. But,
right.
And really, if we're going to give you advice, if you're stuck, quote unquote, at a single casino, just stop playing for a while. Now, we don't necessarily follow that advice because, we're there to gamble like the whole time. So, we suffer through it. But the best advice is really, take a break, go get a meal, go sit and play some video poker for a while, something.
Don't decide that you're going to get it all back and put a $600 6 and a $600 8 and then, wait for him to hit 4 or 5 times. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine anybody doing that, Mike. So I don't think you needed to actually say that out loud because that would be crazy.
That is crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, Mark, that 270 across, I mean, that's great when, you hit 5 or 6 numbers or you have a bunch of repeaters or the 9 repeats 5 times, but it is an aggressive way to play.
When I was back in college, you weren't on this trip, but it was Paul and our other friend, Mike, who went to Vegas. And I was still, kind of learning craps and strategies and everything. And so I, learned about 27 across, right? I'm just, $5 on each number, right? I'm a poor college student. I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. And I had a very similar experience to William. I recall needing to get a cash advance after about an hour of just going 27 across every time and just not winning a single bet. So
yeah, it happens. Well, look at our last at Diamond Joe, our last trip. I mean, it wasn't really that good until that Sunday morning when that guy had that big roll.
Yeah.
It is one of those games where you are playing for a big roll, and sometimes it never comes.
Yep.
But, those crap Vegas guys, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about their advice. I think this is proof that, tread lightly.
Well, I can't fault them because that's probably exactly what I do.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Give me everything all the way across.
Give me everything.
Yeah. All right, next up is Brian.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Brian calling again from Pensacola. Something interesting just happened to a friend of mine that made me start thinking, and I thought I had to bring this up to you guys, see what you thought. It has to do with the W2G limits of $1,200 for slot machines. Of course, any win, $1,200 or more, you're going to get one of those forms from the casino. Well, a friend of mine, he was playing a game called something like Coin Trio. It's with 3 pigs on it, and sometimes they randomly pop and give you a bonus game. Well, he's playing it, and when there's a feature in this game where you can instantly buy a bonus. And he chose to, he's insane, that's my commentary, but he chose to buy a $500 bonus on the game. He spends $500 to get into the bonus, and it runs, and you get what you get. Well, he ends up getting a $2,091 win. So it's a hand pay and a W2G. But just started making me think, because of the value of his bet was so large, it made my brain think, why aren't W2Gs inclusive of the wager you made to win the jackpot? If you bet a $5 bet and you get a $1,200 win, you didn't win $1,200, you won $1,195. Well, in his case, he bets 500, wins $2,091. Realistically, he really won $1,591. Anyway, I've never thought of it that way until now, but that doesn't seem fair. I know the IRS, I know they always want to play fair, and they never want to take too much revenue from us hardworking taxpayers. So anyway, it was just an interesting way to think about it, and I wonder what you'd think as well. See if that's kind of fair or not. Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
Well, of course it's not fair. So,
No.
Brian is absolutely right. So let's give an example. The W-2Gs are not based on how much you won, your profit. It's based on what the machine is paying out. So let me give you an extreme example. Let's say you're playing a slot machine and you're playing for $2,000 a pull. I know it'd probably be hard to find a slot where you could bet that much, but just for this example, let's say it was $2,000 a pull. So let's say you put $2,000 in, you spin the reels, and you get your money back. In other words, you get $2,000 back. You didn't win $2,000, you just get your money back. Sort of like hitting a pair of jacks in Jacks Are Better. Right? You didn't win anything, but you get your money back. That generates a W-2G.
W-2G.
Even though you're completely even, that generates a W-2G. So is that fair? You haven't won anything. I know it's an extreme example, but you have not won anything. You're going to get an IRS form showing that you won, quote unquote, $2,000. So why don't they deduct the initial wager? I'm guessing because of just when the law originally went into effect, which was back in the 1970s, this was just making it easier on the casino. That's my guess anyway as to why it is. And no, it's terribly unfair.
It's terribly unfair, but, it's the government.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect? Of course, they're going to try and get as much money out of you, just a normal Joe out there, as they can, because that's their job. And you know what's even worse about this, Brian? If you want to think about this, you can go to the craps table and buy in for $200 and leave with $5,000 and you get no W-2G.
No, they don't pull it. Yeah, exactly.
So why in the world do they do it on slots like that? I don't think there should be anything. I think it should just be, oh, you got lucky, you won some money, good for you.
Or they should change the law, change the rules so that the amount that you wager does play into the W-2G. More similar to table games, yes.
Even if you get W-2Gs, you can also say, well, I lost more than that.
Well, this is what gets me. Let's go back to my extreme example. Let's say that's the only gambling you did all year. You spun it once. You now have a W-2G for $2,000. How much did you lose gambling that year? Well, nothing, right? You also didn't win that. So, how do you explain that to an IRS?
Mark, that's simple to fix. You got to gamble more.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have given you that example. Look, it's easy to be cynical when it comes to the government and money. But Mike, you're absolutely right, because a few years back, the IRS was actually trying to reduce that $1,200. That $1,200 amount, right? When if anything, they should be increasing it to at least $5,000, and they still have not been able to push that through. So
it's unreal. Yeah. We could go on for days talking about this, Mark. And it's not just in gambling, it's in everything. They get your money and then it doesn't go to where it's supposed to go. Yeah. I'd have no problem paying that if it went where it's supposed to go. But in so many instances, it doesn't. And that's what gets me mad.
All right. Well, let's move on. I don't want to get too deep into the politics of all this.
Don't get me started on the government.
All right. I'm pulling the plug. Let's move on to our last call.
No. Hey, guys. It's Nathan from Sacramento. Just a quick couple of observations from a recent Vegas trip. I was at Circa playing craps, and a guy walked up with two $5,000 chips and got change, and after about 10 minutes, he asked the dealer about going across for $200 a number and, 240 on the 6 and 8. Well, the dealer told him what it would cost, and he dropped the chips down, and the dealer proceeded to set him up, but he used $500 chips where he should have been using black chips. So the guy had, 12,000 plus across, and you know that they rolled for about 10 minutes and he never hit one number, because I was waiting to see what was going to occur, and they finally sevened out, and about 5 minutes later I was in front of the dealer and he was talking to himself saying, oh, that wasn't right when I set that bet up. And the kid was a newer player, you could tell, so he didn't even notice, but I just thought it was kind of comical that it went that long and nobody said anything. But as it was, didn't matter. 7 out anyway. Next thing is, I occasionally play like you, Mark, with the 6 and 8 on the higher minimum tables. So I start off, like 60 on the 6 and 8 each and kind of adjust from there. Well, I went through 4 tables and did not hit 1 6 or 8. So I was a little disgusted, and I found one of those like bubble craft, but the one that's your own personal station where the dice jump around in front of you, not the shoot to win, but the inner block. So I said, well, I can't do any worse, so I'll try this. Make a long story short, I ran 2 $30 6 and 8 bets into $2,400 on a long roll. So I can't say anything about that type of machine anymore. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, there you go. See, I told you I love those machines too. Oh, I know. It is frustrating when you're playing safely, like just betting the 6 and 8, and you're just not hitting them at all. The most common numbers other than 7, and it's just not hitting for you.
Well, and then some other guy's going 270 across, and a bunch of 9s and 4s come up, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's ahead for the roll, making money, and you're like, can we have a 6 or an 8?
It's an interesting story about the dealer, putting the wrong chips out. I'm surprised when we're talking about that much money that this box or
the other dealers, the stick man,
you'd think that somebody would have noticed. It's that much difference. I'm guessing that if any of the numbers had hit, that he would have caught the error. Right? It's like, who knows though? But yeah.
Well, when one number hits and you get paid more than you put in for all the numbers, I think they'd probably catch that. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But that's happened to us, right?
Where they put out more? Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not all of them, but, like one number, there's a chip in there, and they usually catch it when they
or
go to pay it.
Things that they sometimes don't catch, a lot of times I'll do even numbers only. And, a few rolls later, I'll notice that I have a 9. For some reason, right? They just set it up wrong. They just went so quickly.
It's always nice, though, when that happens and it actually makes a difference, because sometimes, they accidentally gave you a 9 and a 9 never came up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, gosh,
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this short episode. Mike, again, we got to get out to the casinos, need more stories. I guess I should do some research.
By the next podcast, I'll have gone to the casinos and I'll have some stories.
We have gotten some suggestions from listeners on topics, and I've been too busy, mostly family stuff, so we have some topics here. I just need to get off my butt.
Yeah, I can't believe the lack of effort you're putting into this, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. I know you put so much into the show. How are those shirts coming along, by the way?
I'm wearing one.
Oh, well, all right. Very good. Well, we want to thank some people for some recurring donations. Jeremy from the Color Up YouTube channel, James, Kurt, and Robin from Anytime Gambling. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from Jake, karma donation for my trip to Vegas tomorrow. Oh, well, that's probably already over. Hope you had good luck, Jake.
Hopefully that worked.
Yeah. Also a donation from Mike, karma donation for an upcoming Foxwoods trip. Thanks for all you guys do. Love the content. Well, thank you, Mike. Also, a donation from our good friend Kevin. Always great to listen to your show. Thanks for all you do. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Yeah, I need to let him know when I can get down to a little deeper into Iowa for him.
Yeah, that's Also, a donation from David. Karma donation as my wife and I head to Vegas in December to celebrate her 40th birthday. Thank you for all the content over the years. Well, thank you, David, and happy birthday to your wife. And finally, we got a donation in the form of a bet on the USA to win the World Cup. Christian asked us who would we like to bet on, and we said, well, we don't really think the USA is going to win, but how could we not go with them? So unfortunately, they were eliminated after that once they got into the single elimination round, but it was fun. And again, Christian, thank you for the bet.
Yeah, thanks for the bet. I was arguing for Morocco, but of course,
were you?
Mark, Mark wanted USA. Yeah. I'm like, Mark, Morocco, and that's the team.
I'm thinking Morocco, you're insane. What do I know? Yeah. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. Well, one of the things I like doing at the end of the show during this time of the year is to ask Dr. Mike, do you or do you not still hate football?
Yes, Mark.
You do?
Currently, I am still hating on football.
Okay.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. It's so wacky. I was talking with a guy. I keep score at the high school basketball games.
Uh-huh.
I run the clock and the timer and everything. I really enjoy that because I love watching the games. And then sometimes, I'm so enthralled in the game, I forget to turn the clock on or off.
Can the official please switch the game timer?
Turn the clock on, somebody yells. Well, I try and be better about that. I try not to get too caught up in the game, but it's hard. It's exciting. But I was talking to a guy at the game, and we were talking about that very same thing about sports in general and football. And I said, you know what it is? It's when the automation came in, when they had instant replay and when they had reviews and all that. I liked it when it was just like, well, the ref called that. We got to deal with it.
What are you getting at, Dr. Mike? Why is that? Why do you hate football because of that? Not only do I disagree with you, how has that been affecting your wagering? Let me put it that way.
Well, it's just, plays get overturned. I'm counting on all the freakiness of football in the past, where the rules were kind of ambiguous. And refs could call anything they wanted.
You like that, you said.
I miss the old days, yeah.
You missed the days of the holy roller, although I guess technically they didn't break the rules at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, football's been rough this year. It's funny because I have one outstanding week and then a crappy week.
You have been going back and forth.
Back and forth. It's ridiculous. And these bowl games, too.
Okay, yeah. So you've got fewer college games now because we're into bowl season. So that should help you. You'll be losing less.
Right. There you go. But even the bowl games, who knows, 6-6, playing, 6-6, whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. All right. Well, before we go, we want to wish everybody a happy holiday season, happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, whatever you celebrate, because, gosh, our next episode is actually going to drop the day after Christmas. Oh, my gosh.
Really?
It came so fast. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to record on Christmas Day?
Well, that's the schedule. I'm hoping that maybe we could record a few days earlier than that, Dr. Mike, if you're free. But, it has to be Christmas Day. It has to be Christmas Day.
I'm always free.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark, I hope everyone has a great holiday. I hope everyone enjoys all the bowl games and the college basketball games and the NFL as much as you can enjoy the NFL and all the other fun stuff and holidays and families that are happening. I got one quick story to tell you.
Okay.
So the elementary school had their Christmas choir thing where each grade, sings a few Christmas songs. And when they got to some of the older kids, like the 4th and 5th graders, they had the kids come up and say, what they liked about the holidays. And, predominantly everyone said, oh, getting together with my family and, having a Christmas party and this and that. And one little kid just walks up there and says, the amount of candy you get. And I thought, there's just one honest kid here.
Yeah, everybody else did. They just can't bring themselves to tell the truth.
They're saying what their parents want to hear.
That's right.
Oh, I love being with my brothers and sisters and my goofy cousins and stuff like that. Instead, it's about the amount of presents and candy you get.
Good for him. Well, again, have a great holiday, everybody. Stay safe, and thanks for listening.
Thank you. Good night.
El Cajon? That's the anus of San Diego.